No money down property investing, real or no real? Well, in this video, we're going to be busting the myth as to whether you do or you do not need large amounts of money to get started in property investing. Now, if you're watching this for the first time, my name is Azur Thatcher. I'm actually the campaign director at NMD Media. People come to me when they're looking to get more customers from the internet. I'm also a property investor. I've been doing it for I think almost 20 years now. So this is my humble opinion of traveling the country, speaking with other people, going through lots of different trainings and actually applying a lot of the strategies and being successful as well as failing in my own property investment journey. And these are my findings. So just before I get into that, I do want to let you know about an amazing opportunity that I've actually put together at the minute. It's totally free. If you're looking for more leads for your business, then go to getleadswithvideoads.com/register. I'm putting on a free event soon. It's going to be phenomenal. More details to come about that, but just go to that page and everything's on there for you to go and check out. So typically, the reason why I'm making this video is because typically most people think that they need, if they go to a bank, for example, they're going to buy a house. To keep the numbers simple, let's say the house is £100,000, and let's say it's going to be for investment purposes. Most banks are going to turn around to them and say, you need to put down a 25% deposit, and then we'll do the rest. So you'll partner in with the bank and you pay them, your mortgage repayments, similar to like rent if you're renting, and you do that for usually about 25 years or however long the term happens to be, right? Now, the great thing is, that deposit, that 25%, which most people, in the case I've just used, is 25 grand. Now, if you were doing like a shared house, like an HMO, and you were looking for 5 or more bedrooms, you may be paying in excess of £200,000. 25% of that is 50 grand. So not a lot of people have that money to just go straight like that and give it over to the bank and go from there. However, the interesting thing is you don't actually have to come up with that 25%. There's a theory called OPM, other people's money. Now, just before I kind of get into that, I want to circle back on what no money down property investing is. Most people say no money down property investing. You're going to go out there, you're going to find a property, you're going to spend no money whatsoever, and you're going to have the property and go from there. Now, the funny thing about that is it's a slight play on words. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, where it comes from, I was having a conversation. I held a virtual summit not so long ago, and there's one of the speakers is a guy called Simon Zucci. He's one of the largest training company. He's the founder of one of the largest training companies here in the UK. And he was saying that specifically, that where that phrase comes from is back in, I think it was, pre-2008, that's for sure. What was happening was people were buying property, and they were basically buying property using a bridging loan facility. So it's like a short-term money lender. They'd lend them the money to go and buy the property, and then the property, they'd have to find a property. Let's say, for argument's sake, the property is worth £100,000, but you find a owner that is really motivated and so willing to take a discount for a quick sale. So they'll sell you that property at a slightly below the market value. Now, I believe the figures were about 17%. If you get it 17% below market value, what that allowed you to do is go to a bridging loan company, get a loan from them. They would then put that, you'd then use that to buy the property, and on the same day you'd get a mortgage application put through as well. And then so the money would come in for you to buy the property, and then the mortgage would then come in to actually buy at the higher rate. And by the time you've done all your expenses and stuff like that, so long as you had it at 17% discount, you actually had no money. You didn't actually have any money left in the actual deal. Obviously, you needed some money to pay the fee to get the bridging in place and all that kind of stuff. So by the time you had done all of that, done the mortgage and everything like that, you'd be able to pull out all of your money. So that's where that kind of time came from. But technically, you still do need some kind of money to actually invest in property. But here's the thing: the money that you need, whether it's the deposit or whether it's the fees that I've just spoke about, doesn't have to be your money. And that's where that phrase comes from: no money down, or the reason why you don't need money to invest in property is because it doesn't have to be your money. It can be other people's money. There are people out there that have worked really hard, that have equity in their property, and they're just looking for a better return than what they get from the bank. Because at the moment, if they had, my numbers are going to be terrible here, but if you had 50 grand and you had that in your bank account as savings, at the moment, because the banks are giving less than 1% saving, that means after 12 months of leaving that money in there, not touching it, you'll come out with, what's that, £500 or something like that, 1%. However, if you put that into property for 12 months with someone who knew what they were doing and they could refurbish it, do all that, force appreciation, refinance, blah, blah, get all the money back out and pay you back, that 50 grand that you could leave with them for 6 months or 9 months could come back to you and you get a 10% return. So now, instead of getting £500 from the bank, you put it into property and you can get it back and you can get a 10% return, which is a 5 grand. So it's far better to do it that way. Now, these are just typical off my head, make believe kind of numbers. Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into that, and I'm not giving you financial advice at all. I'm just painting a scenario of what is of where this phrase comes from, OPM, and ways that it could, in theory, be used. Okay, so this is definitely not financial advice at all. I'm not qualified to give it at all, but that's where that phrase comes from, OPM. Now, here's the thing. You need the knowledge, okay? So you might not have the money to get involved in property. You can understand there are people that lend it to you, friends, family, equity in your property, pensions like SAS or SIPs, sorry, those kind of things. But you need the knowledge. You need to be able to spot the opportunity. A lot of times I'm out there as a property investor and as a digital marketer as well, and I'm looking through social media sites and things like that. I'm seeing people putting deals together. And when you do your due diligence, the deals actually stack up, the numbers work. But a lot of people are talking at the moment, which means there's so much noise, and in that noise causes confusion, procrastination, and people are skeptical. So sometimes deals can be sat around, perfectly good deals can be sat around for quite a while because the person that's actually selling the deal doesn't know how to break through that noise and cut through that noise. However, if you were someone who had the knowledge, could spot the opportunity, and you had the funds available through family members or equity in your property or whatever, you could then get that deal using other people's money, acquire that deal, and create a win-win situation. You're giving the investor a return back on their money that they've lent you. You're giving the seller the price that they need, and then you charge a fee. It doesn't take too many of those deals for your fee to build up to a nice pot of money that you could then use to go and get your own property or do whatever it is you want with. So that's another thing. But here's the last piece of the puzzle. It's about tenacity. You've got to be able to really follow through doing that kind of stuff. If you ain't got the funds at all, then you are going to have to really work hard to prove to the investor that you know what you're doing and maintain their trust. You have to work hard with regards to seller. You're going to have to work hard to actually even find the property deals in the first place, and that can be quite challenging, which is why I am putting together this event called getleadswithvideoads.com/register. I'm going to show you how you can basically start to generate pretty much an unlimited amount of leads for your business, and they'll come to you. So instead of you having to go out there and spend the time and effort and the frustrations to actually find the deals, you can actually have the deals coming to you. You can have people that are predisposed and ready to actually do business with you. I'm specifically focusing on property because that's a lot of my background, but it does apply to really anyone who's in the property industry. That's what this is going to be focused on. So you want to go and check that out, then please go to getleadswithvideoads.com/register. Now, if you've enjoyed the video today, then please do give me a thumbs up. If I've given you new information that you haven't heard before or changed your perspective at all on something, then please do give me a wow or a heart emoji or something like that. That's pretty cool. I love those. And if you know anybody that would find this information in this video really useful, then please do let them know about it. Okay, so that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for your time today. If you're watching this on the replay, please in the comments leave #replay so I know that you've seen it. Okay, that's it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.